How far am I justified in calling the 10 things secrets? The 10 things which I discuss with you today. If there is a secret door, you cannot open it unless you have its keys. And they are the secret keys. But how far am I justified in calling the 10 things secrets? Well, they are secrets to the extent that only the super students are keenly aware of them, and only the super students utilize them. They are indeed secrets to the extent that those who are not super students are not aware, or at least not keenly aware of them. Unless and until you know these 10 secrets, you become keenly aware of these 10 secrets. You master these 10 secrets and you put these 10 secrets into operation. You cannot become a super student. You cannot become a super student. It is simply impossible to become a super student unless you have a passion for your subject. Some of us are fortunate. For example, I chose English language and literature as my subject, and that is also my passion. Unless and until you have a passion for your subject, you cannot become a super student. As I said, some of us are not so fortunate. We choose a subject and then we realize that we don't have a passion for it. What can we do now? There are two options before us. One, we can move out of the subject. We can give up the subject and select the subject for which we have a passion. If that is not possible, we have to develop a passion for the subject that we have chosen. It is something like the so-called arranged marriages of India. Either you fall in love with a girl and then marry her, fine. If not, you marry a girl. The girl is selected by your parents, by the elders of the family. And then you fall in love with her. You have to fall in love with her. You have no other option. Similarly, whatever be your subject, you have to ignite a passion for it. You have to artificially rouse a passion for the subject. Take it from me. Unless and until you are able to ignite a passion for your subject, it is impossible for you to become a super student. By passion, I mean unlimited enthusiasm, abiding interest, extreme love, absolute devotion, a willingness to spend an unlimited amount of time on it, a round-the-clock obsession. So the first secret is ignite your passion. There is the proverb, the early bird catches the worm. The super student has necessarily to start early. He does not wait for anything, for the members of his peer group, for his teachers, for the academic system. He starts early and he starts on his own. There is the saying, Rome was not built in a day. Please understand that nothing in this life was achieved by anyone overnight. So the second secret is that you must start working with passion, with dedication, at the earliest point of time possible. The second secret is start early. The key term here is organization. Be organized. Nobody ever achieved anything in a haphazard manner unless and until you have an overall plan. You are not going to achieve anything. Organize the entire portion in sync with the time available. Leave room for revision. Ensure that the plan is realistic and also that the plan is able to extract the best out of you. So, the third secret is have a plan. It is not enough that you have a plan. You must stick to it. Ensure that you are systematic. Make sure that you follow a daily routine. The routine is very important. Doesn't matter whether you are a night owl or a morning lark. The night owl enjoys working far into the night, even till morning. The morning lark wants to sleep during the night and enjoys working from early morning onwards. You can be a night owl or you can be a morning lark, but ensure that you have a routine. Whether you choose to be an owl or a lark depends on your personality and also on your circumstances. If you are expected to report at your institution at 8 o'clock in the morning, you cannot afford to be a night owl and work till 7 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 7 o'clock. So it's for you to decide. Whatever be the case, you should make sure that you work every day. Nothing was ever achieved through erratic effort. So, the fourth secret is be systematic. Even the best students have weak spots. It's your responsibility to identify them. No student can be equally comfortable with all areas in his discipline. There are bound to be places in the syllabus which prove to be rather naughty. It is for you to locate these weak points and take a special effort to strengthen your mastery of those points. So, the fifth secret is identify your weak spots. You have to carry out self evaluation at periodic intervals. Every week, every month, carry out an assessment of what you have done and what remains to be done. Have you been able to stick to your plan? If not, why not? Have you been able to live up to your own expectations? If not, why not? What steps should be taken to correct your efforts if such correction be required? If you refuse to periodically self evaluate yourself and your efforts, you run the risk of living in a fool's paradise. And the paradise will collapse on the day of your examination. So, the sixth secret is constantly evaluate. Distractions are, of course, as old as the first student. Perhaps the student in the Veda Pathashala in India 2000 years back was distracted by a beetle which kept on flying around him, which kept on moving in circles around him. But the scale of the distractions that the student in the contemporary world has to face is unprecedented in human history. When we were students, there were distractions, of course, but there was no social media, there was no Facebook, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Twitter, there was no television, and most houses did not even have a landline. And of course, there was no mobile phone. It is for you to decide whether a vibrant presence in the social media is important to you, or an astounding academic performance is important to you. I would like to be categorical in this matter. Usually I am never categorical. But now I want to make a categorical statement. The two are mutually exclusive. The two are mutually exclusive. Of course, social media platforms can be harnessed for academic purposes. For academic purposes. That's okay. If you're able to do that, fine. But anything beyond that is unacceptable if you want to perform well in your examination. You have to carry out an assessment of your situation and decide what is to be done. If your presence in any social media platform is not exclusively oriented towards your academic performance, I would advise you to put an end to that presence. I may sound selfish, I may sound cynical, but the fact is that ultimately what is going to be with you is your academic performance, not your Facebook posts, not your contributions to your WhatsApp group, not the chats that you record with your friends, not even your friends. So take a firm decision, a ruthless decision. Avoid distractions. I hate the term self made. I don't think anyone is self made. If you analyze the life of a so called self made achiever, you will realize that at various points in his life, he received invaluable help from mentors. Almost everyone who performs well academically, who performs extremely well academically, have received help from mentors. Your mentor could be a teacher or even a senior student, or you could find more mentors than one for yourself. Please remember that they have accumulated experience of years, decades with them. And it is for you to tap that experience. Experience in any field is invaluable. It cannot be replaced except by experience itself. So it is your responsibility to identify a mentor, or perhaps more than one mentor, and seek help from him or from them. So the eighth point is seek help from mentors. We now come to the penultimate secret. Utilize the question papers of the past. They say history repeats itself. Somebody effected an improvement on the dictum by stating history repeats itself, historians repeat one another. I think we can go a step further. History repeats itself. Historians repeat one another. Question papers also repeat one another. If you look through the question papers over the years, you find that certain questions are repeated again and again. It is a sort of recurrent pattern. There are a number of reasons for this. One is there is a sort of general consensus among teachers on what is the most important area, or what are the most important areas of a subject. Secondly, question papers are often set at the last minute. And the question paper setter is often given question papers, past question papers from the previous years as samples. And as the question paper setter is under pressure to prepare the question paper as quickly as possible, he frequently utilizes the questions from the sample question papers that are given to him. I don't know whether I am revealing a trade secret by saying all this. Be that as it may, nothing can be more useful for a student than referring to past question papers, than working out the question papers of the previous years thoroughly. So the ninth secret is make use of the question papers of the previous years. There is the terrible truth that it is not always the best student who performs the best in the examination. If the best student lacks an examination orientation, he may not turn out to be the best performer. When you are preparing for an examination, never ever lose sight of it. For example, you may love a particular area in your syllabus very much. That doesn't mean that you should spend all your time with that area. Your priorities within the syllabus should exactly be the priorities of your examiners. You have all the time in the world after you clear your examination to gather knowledge, to write books, to carry out research. This is certainly not the time for such activities. When you are preparing for an examination, you are doing that and nothing else. So, the 10th secret, the last secret is be examination oriented.